Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I Wrong and it's by user Throwaway Dang Dan. Am I the a-hole for ruining my daughter's life? So I, 44 male, have a daughter who just turned 17. I own a caravan which is left on a plot of land on a holiday park. I have owned it for around 5 years and we visit multiple times a year. Last year, when she was 15, she didn't want to come down and go to the holiday park with the family, and I trusted her as a 15-year-old to be okay by herself for the weekend. Well, she was caught throwing a party at which the TV was smashed and the surround sound was broken due to someone spilling wine on it and the carpet. That was the end of that. Now, whenever we come down to the caravan, she has to come with us. At first, she hated it, and it was a huge ordeal to get her to come along, with a lot of scully teenage girl behavior. Over time, she warmed up to it though, and she seemed to really enjoy coming, even looking forward to it. Well, last weekend, while we were down there, we were in a sports bar that we frequent on the resort, when a girl who works in the bar asked my daughter if she would be going to M's, that's his initial, house this weekend. My daughter looked horrified when she said this, and she just said, "I don't know." She had just been outed. Well, when we get home, I ask who the hell the guy is and when exactly she has been seeing him. Turns out that for the last 10 months, she has been sneaking out the caravan when everyone else is in bed and seeing a guy who lives down there. Needless to say, she is in deep trouble. The next day, we are in the sports bar again, and I go up to order a drink and notice the name tag of a guy who's serving me my pint. I strike up a conversation with him and we make some small talk. I ask him how old he is. He says 24. I am not yet certain if it's the same person or just a coincidence and don't want to jump to conclusions. So I quickly finish my drink and take everyone back to the caravan for a family meeting. When we get in, I confiscate my daughter's phone, and this is, in fact, the guy that she has been seeing. I go through their messages, and my worst fears are confirmed. They have been in a sexual relationship for months, beginning when she was 16. But what makes this story worse is my daughter has lied about her age. I see through their messages she has told the guy that she is 20. I lose it at her and tell her how awful what she is doing is, etc. All the while, my wife is strangely quiet and I ask why she isn't saying anything. She admits that she knew my daughter had a crush on him and had been encouraging her crush by pointing out the guy checking her out. And she even knew they had been texting. However, my daughter lied to my wife and told her he was 18. My wife claims that they had only spoken about the guy since this summer, when my daughter was 17. She also said she had no idea my daughter had been meeting the guy in secret, but this part I am currently unsure if I believe. Anyway, using my daughter's phone, I ring the guy and explained the truth of the situation. To say he was horrified is an understatement. He apologized to me maybe 100 times and has blocked my daughter. My daughter has lost her phone privileges as I pay for it, and if she wants a new one, she will be getting it herself. I am also going to sell the caravan. She has so far refused to speak to me, other than to say I ruined her life over and over. I say this all starts and ends with her being untrustworthy. She lied to me and my wife by throwing a party. Then she lied to the guy about her age. Then she lied to my wife about the guy's age. Then she again lied to both of us by sneaking out every weekend. I told her I am ashamed and disgusted by her behavior as I didn't intend to raise a liar. I also told her that she has pulled in and likely traumatized some innocent young man and could have even ruined his life by her own selfish lies. My wife thinks I'm being too hard on her and that she's a teenage girl doing teenage girl things and is worried about this permanently damaging my relationship with her. I think, no way. I am horrified by her behavior. This is too much. Am I the a-hole? Well, Opie, in my opinion, you are most certainly not the a-hole. It's all on your daughter, like you said. You listed out all the lies that she told, so yeah, it's all on her. And some people might try to counter-argue with, but she was forced to lie, she had no other choice. Yes, she did. She could have just told her the truth and been turned down, because a 16-year-old dating a 24-year-old, that's not right. And by the way, OP, your wife's argument of that's just teenage girl doing teenage girl things is just as stupid as that other saying, boys will be boys. Now, could this punishment damage your relationship with your daughter? Sure, if she stays an idiot, but hopefully she won't, and she will mature and she will understand that actions have consequences and that what she did was incredibly reckless, not just for her, but for others. She could have definitely ruined that young man's life, but eventually she'll hopefully become a responsible adult with whom you can have a relationship with. So again, OP, not the a-hole. And what is your judgment? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's go check out the community comments. Deleted says, not the a-hole. She's emotional, being the center of the whole thing. You're truly just parenting. Her actions have been incredibly reckless, and you're just trying to make sure she understands and keeping her safe. She genuinely rolled the dice in regards to her safety with her actions. Every time she met said person, and things could have easily taken a turn for the worse. Not to say what happened was even slightly okay. Not having a caravan anymore and losing your phone for probably a few months is nothing in comparison to what could have happened. She can't see that yet. Way to go, OP says, you're not wrong. Your wife needs to realize the severity of the issue too. You need to have a conversation with your wife to get on the same page about protecting your daughter. What if she wound up pregnant? And then a conversation with your daughter together. You can't get angry, but she will. What you're doing is coming from a place of love. What can you do to let your daughter earn your trust back and learn from this experience rather than going down the path of cutting you out? Can you start a hobby together like hiking? And Grey Jedi Bug says, teenaged girl doing teenaged girl things. No, I didn't do any of this crap when I was a teenaged girl. Neither did my sister. She's 4 years older than me. We never understood the whole teenage rebellion thing. Was never tempted. We were studying or hanging out with friends. Because of our behavior, we never had a curfew or got punished. We think our parents, divorced, were relieved we didn't do anything stupid or dangerous. I do believe your daughter lied to your wife about the dude's age, but it seems like she knew they were sexually active. I pity the dude because knowing he had sex with a teenager is traumatizing. Your daughter is a liar. She can't be trusted, so her actions have consequences, just like anyone else. Definitely not the a-hole. OP's edit. Just want to clear a few things up as a lot of people are making repeat comments. 1. The punishment of forcing her along was only until the end of the summer last year, as we would be down there a lot then. At the end of the summer last year is when she developed the crush on the bartender and decided to keep coming to ogle at him. We went down there again for the Christmas break and she asked for his number, and that's when their relationship began. I did allow her to drink wine with our dinners a few times during the Christmas break, so I wonder if that contributed to her image of being 20. 2. My wife did not know his age. My wife noticed the two of them looking at each other and exchanging smiles a lot this summer, which is when she questioned my daughter about him. My daughter then confided in my wife that they had been texting this summer and told her he was 18. My wife encouraged the relationship and said she was happy my daughter had met a handsome young man and was getting to experience a holiday romance. My wife also noticed a huge attitude improvement since they had been talking, so she thought it was a good thing. My wife has been devastated upon finding out she had been encouraging the relationship. Now she knows the truth of the matter. 3. I am sure the guy did not know her age. Trust me, things would have gone very differently if not. You are all free to make your assumptions all you want, but you forget I know my daughter and what she looks like as well as reading their conversations. My daughter is 5'8", which is tall for her age and women in general. She has a passion for makeup and does hair and beauty at college. It is not a stretch to believe that she is actually 3 years older. Especially when you add the lies I myself read she sent to him. Lying about being in university, lying about losing her ID when being invited to a club, lying about living alone at university, etc., etc., etc. And 4. We are not American. We are from the UK. No statutory R occurred. The guy isn't and wouldn't be in any legal trouble if this came out, but it would likely ruin his life regardless. A 24-year-old sleeping with a 16, 17-year-old is hugely not okay over here. It is generally understood that the low age of consent here is so that teenagers can sleep with other teenagers. And even then, a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old would still be frowned upon. A 24-year-old would be seen as a predator and ostracized for this. Finally, please do not floozy shame my daughter. It is perfectly acceptable for a girl her age to have crushes, date, and have sex just with people her own age. Please, do not make the mistake of thinking for a second you know the situation better than me or have my daughter's best interest at heart more than me. Thank you. So, the community agreed that OP was not the a-hole and gave him their opinion about what he should do or what he could try doing. And in the edit, OP clears out a lot of the questions that were in the comment section. So now, let's move on to the update to see how the story ends. So, I have today taken on a lot of feedback and decided to go back and talk to my wife. During the conversation, my wife admitted that there was times she knew my daughter was going out and meeting him and that she had made her download Life 360 to do so. She claims that she picked up on it toward the end of this summer after catching my daughter trying to leave the caravan in the dead of the night. I told her, no wonder where our daughter gets her habit of lying from. Because of this revelation, I have decided I will be giving my daughter back her phone. It's not fair to punish her for something she was actually given permission to do. The confiscating of her phone was more punishment for sneaking out than anything else. It was only a practical move, as if she cannot contact people to meet her, she has no reason to sneak out. The lying is something that will likely be better off being addressed through therapy than punishment. Which, if I'm being honest, she probably needs to get to the bottom of what is causing her to act this way. Me and my wife had a big fallout, as I said that if she is going to go behind my back and make decisions unilaterally, she at least owes it to my daughter and myself to do the due diligence to make sure that everything is above board and safe. My wife was just too focused on being the cool mom, like many commenters said. She thought she had her bases covered by making her download the tracking app. Obviously not. My wife has been very apologetic, but despite her pleading me not to go, I have gone to stay in a hotel for a few days as I cannot even look at her right now. Truthfully, as soon as my daughter's lies came out, she seemed extremely remorseful. She was crying herself to sleep, saying she failed as a mother, and I spent most of the week reassuring her she hadn't. Now I see the real reason she took it so hard, which makes it sting even more. She thought she was enabling a cute teenage holiday romance, but actually she was letting my daughter run around with some clueless man in his mid-20s. My wife claims that the reason she didn't inform me is that my daughter begged her not to, as she was embarrassed about the idea of me knowing she is having sex. I am not an idiot. I assumed my daughter had probably had sex or at least experimented. Hell, I was the one who suggested to my wife we'd look into birth control for her at 16. I don't care what she does, as long as she's safe and responsible. I spoke to my daughter and told her that even though I'm disappointed in her, I love her. She tells me she was in love. I say love is meaningless if it's built on a lie, which is why I'm leaving for a few days. She seemed to understand this, at least I hope. We hugged, she cried some, and then I left. I need some space from my wife for the meantime, followed by some form of marriage counseling. Feels like the only way forward for me. Lessons learned are more important than punishment in my opinion. It blew up in her face. She caused a huge rift between her parents, who have always been very close, and got her heart broken. I'm not sure what good a punishment on top would do. I don't know if I will update this again. I don't know if there is much else to say. I'm just gonna relax and play some pool, I think. I don't have work until Monday, so I will probably return sometime Sunday. I feel like this whole thing is gonna give me an aneurysm. Well, OP, the situation overall sucks, but as you say, lessons learned, and the good thing is that now everything is out in the open, so hopefully you and your wife can get back on track with some help. Take care, OP, and thank you for sharing. And now let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user Obnoxious and On. Want me to wash my dishes? Oh, sure I will. When I first started my very first corporate job, there was a kitchen full of utensils and fridge and oven and stove and a dishwasher. A full-fledged kitchen for employees to make tea, coffee, heat their meals, even cook. They said I can bring my own glasses and put them there or use the company's. Also, there was a woman who was working in the kitchen. Let's call her Nilly, since she puts rules willy-nilly like a bully. Second day of my job, dear Nilly told me, "Let me remind you that no one should leave their dirty dishes in the sink." I was surprised by the claim. Since I am new and don't know a single crap, I thought this might be her way of bullying or it might actually be true. So I smiled and asked if this means I have to wash my own glasses. She said, "Yes, don't make me repeat it twice, honey." Let me remind you, there's a dishwasher. If she isn't cleaning the dishes, her only remaining job is vacuum the office once a week and bring tea or coffee to chiefs, to meetings, and to managers. So I decided to gather information and wait on it. Apparently, Nilly has been working in the company for 20 years and knows the CEO. She knows how he drinks his tea, how he drinks his coffee, when he drinks them, what he eats with his tea and coffee. She knows all of them. If I know one thing, that is never fight a fight with the person who knows how your boss likes his coffee, especially if you're replaceable. So, fight was not an option. Cool. I also learned that once a week the CEO brings a bag of fruits to the kitchen to share in the company. Apparently, he has a fruit garden and goes there for weekends, and she would take fruits to her house at the end of the day. Old employees knew that. They would take 1 or 2 in the day. That's how I learned this. She said to me, I can get 1 from it, but it is hers. So I refused the first time offer, thinking she bought it, then learned that it was brought by the CEO. I think she implied that CEO brought it to her and she was generous enough to share it with us peasants. But this is my interpretation of her statement. One thing about me, I look young and naive. I look dumb, as if there's some missing component in my brain. Cue Malicious Compliance. From my desk, I could partially see the kitchen if I turned around. So on the day of fruit delivery, I was constantly checking the kitchen. When the CEO came in, I counted to 30 and went in as well. To wash my glasses, of course. I went in and said hi to everyone. This was my first time seeing the CEO, so he said, "You must be new." Kindly and respectfully informed who I am, and he told me who he was. I said, "Sir, I've checked the company before entering and knew him," which he liked. After I turned to wash my dishes, he asked me what I was doing and I said, "Oh, I was informed that all the staff wash their own dishes." At the same time, I would nearly said I must have mistaken that while laughing and taking the sponge and glasses out of my hand. I said, "But you," as if shocked, and cut myself as if realization hit me, then smiled like she is my best friend. Of course, I didn't stop there. I looked at the fruits. The CEO told me to take some fruits, added that he brought them to the company so all the staff could enjoy. I haven't said anything, but from my expression, the CEO asked what was wrong. I told nothing and told I always thought they were Nilly's since. Then I just smiled and asked if I can take a plate of them. With a huge plate of fruit, accompanied by a huge smile, I went to my desk, shared them with my team, and I don't even like fruits. Couple of hours later, I went to the kitchen and our dear Nilly told me I had misunderstood things and washing dishes was her job and I shouldn't mistake it again. She then added that the fruits were for everyone to share and I should have taken more if I wanted. I stupidly said, "Oh, I didn't know and how sorry I am to cause her trouble," with a sorry smile. Guess who never had to wash dishes and had fruits to eat every day? If your answer is Cleopatra, probably yes, but also me. Nilly would also bring tea and coffee to me from time to time. If someone she served did not want to drink, I would thank her with a huge smile and take it. Apparently, she does this to all the employees she likes. Nicely done, OP. Not only did you put a bully in her place, but she's actually on your side now. Good job. Thanks for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button.